Hello, my friends. Dowellzrul here, and Malefic's got new support. So, as you know, as you probably know, if you're watching this video, I play Malefics. I like the Malefic deck as a theme. It's an interesting deck overall, and Konami decided to give it new support with interesting cards, to say the least. So I figured I would go through them with you guys and let you know what's up. So, first card we have is Malefic Territory, and in my opinion, it is the second best card revealed so far, and we'll get to the next card later, but I know I'm a little late to the party on this Malefic Support, but of the first three revealed, this is definitely the best card, but I think the new card revealed definitely trumps this. So, enough rambling, let's get into this with Malefic Territory. So it has three effects, and it's a continuous spell card. And what it does is, when it's activated, you can activate one Malefic World from your deck, and while the card activated by this effect is in the field zone, so Malefic World, while it's in the field zone, the other player can target cards in field zones with card effects. So your opponent cannot destroy the Malefic World. And so Malefic World is a terrible card. It just lets you search during your standby phase randomly. You can choose 3 Malefics out of your deck, and then so just 3 Malefics, and if you choose the same Malefic all 3 times, you don't have to worry, because you're guaranteed to get that card. But if you choose different Malefics, it's random, and you have no guarantee on getting that card. It's a terrible card, and usually what you want to do is activate it off of Metaverse during your opponent's end phase, so that way you get the effect immediately, and you're not waiting on it. So the second effect says, there can only be one face-up Malefic monster on the field. There can only be one face-up Malefic monster on the field. The effects of Malefic monsters become, there cannot be face-up Malefic monsters on the field with the same name. So you are now allowed to have different named Malefics on the field. So you could have Stardust Dragon, you could have Rainbow Dragon, and Malefic Cyberand Dragon all on board at the same time. And that helps this deck out tremendously. It is so amazing, this effect. So there have been just playtesting with the deck and trying to get this as consistent as possible, which I think I have with what we have, and just a pure Malefic deck, and getting out more than one, getting stuck with like parallel gear on board because someone effect failured it for no reason. It sucks because you can't summon anything else. It just won't let you. And you can't skill drain that because it's like a condition. So that effect is amazing. And then the third effect is, during the battle phase only, the effects of Malefic monsters cannot be negated. Now, that effect pertains to Malefic Truth Dragon in particular. So, what he does is, during the battle phase, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls. So it becomes just a Regeki, basically, for face-up monsters your opponent controls when it kills a monster in battle. So that is actually a really great effect, and that is the reason I run it. I only run it at 1 because it's stupid to get out, but it is really, it's honestly not that terrible of a card. It's just the summoning condition is atrocious. So that third effect is okay. It didn't need to be on there since most of the other Malefics, I think all of the other Malefics don't have any battle phase effect, so that didn't have to be there. So next card we have is Malefic Selector. So this card only has one effect. It's a normal spell card, and you can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. So it's hard once per turn. And you can banish 2 Malefic cards from your graveyard, add 2 Malefic cards from your deck to your hand with different names from each other than those banished cards, except Selector. So, that's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be. Yes, if you're just splashing Malefics into a random deck, it's a horrible effect. You're not going to be able to get it off. But if you're playing a pure Malefic deck like I am, it actually isn't that hard to get 2 Malefic monsters in the graveyard. You just sync or summon with parallel gear, basically. And, that's actually really easy to, even outside of that, it's really easy to accomplish, because I play Xyz monsters in my build, and just detach a couple of Malefics. Now, obviously, it needs graveyard setup, and it's not a terrible card, it's just not amazing. it doesn't, on its own, it definitely does not save the Malefic deck, and I probably will not run it at more than 2, because it needs graveyard setup, and this deck is not great at graveyard manipulation in general. But you could also play cards like Melody of the Awakening Dragon to help with the, getting Malefic's engraved, because Melody can search, Malefic, Rainbow Dragon and Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon, so that definitely helps. And then you could, it says Malefic card, so if you have a Malefic World in the graveyard, so, yeah, it's not a terrible card. I would run it, just probably not at 3. Next is Malefic Divide. So this is a quick play spell that says, target a Malefic monster in your graveyard, special summon that monster, ignoring its summoning conditions, but its effects negate it and banish it during the end phase. This is an interesting card. I don't know how I feel about it, really. I mean, again, graveyard, it affects the graveyard. Really, I don't know any Malefics that you'd want to do that on unless you're going to go in for the OTK. I mean, summoning a body on your opponent's turn, or summoning back a, but it negates the effect, so summoning a Stardust doesn't matter. So you would just summon a big beat stick, and I don't know. It's an okay card. It's probably about the same thing as the other one. So, I mean, it requires graveyard setup. The Selector, it requires graveyard setup. I mean, Selector searches while the other one special summons back. Honestly, it's just, the only reason you wouldn't get its effects is so you can't, like, bring back Stardust and sit on it for a turn, in case your opponent wanted to destroy your field spell, or, you can't summon out Truth Dragon and blow up your opponent's field. So, I mean, it's okay. Now, for my favorite of the new support so far, it is absolutely fantastic what they did with this card. Malefic Paradox Gear. Alright, so it's a level 1 Dark Machine effect monster with 0 attack and events. Now, it's level 1, so it's not level 2 like Parallel Gear, so you can summon it off of 1-for-1, which is absolutely phenomenal. I haven't even gotten to the effects yet, and, okay, so you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Alright, that's definitely warranted here. First effect, if a face-up field spell is on the field, you can tribute this card, special summon 1 Malefic Parallel Gear from your deck, and then add 1 Malefic monster from your deck to your hand, except Parallel Gear. So, you get to search out your tuner monster, along with any of the level 8s that you're running. Yeah, that is amazing, and it gets even better. Its second effect says, if you would banish a monster to special summon a Malefic monster from your hand using its own procedure, you could banish this card from your field or grave instead. Okay, so it's your requirements for any of your Malefic monsters. Now you do not need to play Rainbow Dragon in your main deck, alright? Now you can just play the Malefic Rainbow Dragon without the Rainbow Dragon, and then you could also put Blue Eyes in here for tuner targets, and then actually summon the Stardust Dragon. There is so much stuff that this card opens up, and oh my gosh, this is an absolutely phenomenal card for the archetype. Honestly, okay, you honestly don't even need to play the Kaijus anymore in this deck. I just uploaded a deck profile, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Just go back and watch that. Yeah, I mean, okay, so something I wanted to address. I've heard people talking about trade-in in the Malefic deck. It doesn't really work, because, okay, Stardust and Blue Eyes are the only level 8 Malefic monsters. Okay, that's 2 level 8s, and you're playing a bunch of level 10s, and there's just a bunch of different levels in the deck. And unless you're playing, like, level 8 Kaijus in there for other discard, trade-in fodder, no, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is play Melody of Awakening Dragon to search out your, Rainbow Dragon, and I'm definitely playing Blue Eyes once this comes out. Definitely playing Malefic Blue Eyes, for synchro fodder. But yeah, this card, the Malefic Paradox Gear, is absolutely amazing. You could play 1-for-1 in the deck now, which would help get graveyard set up. You could play, it just makes so many cards in the deck a lot better, and yeah, this is absolutely amazing. I'm honestly surprised that this is amazing support for an archetype that's terrible, absolutely terrible. This deck is by no means good, because of the restriction. Okay, so Paradox Gear and Territory are the only two they needed to make to fix the archetype. The other two cards don't actually do anything for the deck. Territory fixes the field spell problem of protecting your field spell and getting Malefic World to do something. And then it also makes it so you can have more than one Malefic on field, so that fixes the restrictions on the monsters themselves. And then your Paradox Gear fixes every other problem in the archetype of needing to banish a specific monster in the deck. It's just, these two cards in particular, they didn't need to make anything else. And I think, okay, so there's 4 cards of support, so they might make more support for the deck. I don't know. They might. And if they do, I hope it's something to the level of Paradox Gear, because honestly, that could make the deck, like, rogue tier. Honestly, if they get enough, Paradox Gear support, then this deck can be rogue tier, because they can spit out so many huge 4K beat sticks, and Truth Dragon's a 5,000 attack monster. This is just, wow. You know what, I'm done rambling. It's just amazing what they've done, and yeah, this is amazing support for the deck. I didn't think they would ever do this for any, I mean, obviously, no one expected this, but I didn't think Maleficus would get more support, and it's just amazing, and yeah. Well, I guess that's it, guys, so be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that wonderful YouTube stuff. Let me know what you thought of the video, and Discord link in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.